Gates famously had his think weeks, where for 7 days at a time, he would seclude himself and take himself away to a cabin where he would focus on new product and new ideas, and also reflecting on relationships and work life and all of that type of stuff. And you and I have had that exact same experience throughout the pandemic. We've spent a lot more time with ourselves on our own, and this has undoubtedly changed our lives. Some people for the better, and other people possibly for the worse. I've been in the fortunate position for the last 3 years and through the pandemic to have been living alone. And during that time, I've learned a lot about how to spend time alone and how to actually help me thrive with my time alone rather than maybe seeing it as a negative thing. And so in this video, I wanted to share with you the 3 benefits I've discovered from spending time alone. Welcome everyone, and if you're new here, I'm Kieran Panchal, and here on this channel I help you navigate the crazy decade that is your 20s. So if you're trying to figure out life just like me, consider joining me on this journey by subscribing down below. Now let's talk about the first benefit of spending time alone, and that is about helping you form opinions and thoughts. In our lives, we run from everything, from meeting to meeting, from friendship to friendship, from video to video at a million miles an hour, often without stopping and reflecting. Now, reflecting doesn't mean completely stopping and downing tools and essentially wasting time to focus on how an experience made you feel. You can actually reflect while still on the go. The purpose of reflecting is very much to just think about how that experience made you feel and the things that you enjoyed about it, and also the things that you maybe didn't enjoy about it and things that you'd maybe try and do differently next time. And so spending time alone gives you that time. It gives you that break between the crazy lives we all live to reflect and actually spend that time on understanding and reflecting on all of those experiences you've had, all of those meetings, all of those interactions, and to actually process them in your brain rather than almost pass over them as superficial things that just happen in our life without ever really understanding what they meant for you and whether those are actually things that you enjoyed or not. The main man himself, Joe Rogan, on a podcast with Naval Ravikant, talk exactly about this. They talk about how spending time alone is essentially how you understand what you actually believe in and what you don't believe in. And I think this is probably like one of the best quotes to sum up this whole idea of spending time alone. We're exposed to so much information on a daily basis, be it through social media or work emails or gossip or whatever it might be. And yes, some of it can just wash over us because it honestly doesn't matter. But others actually do matter, and we should and want to take the time to understand and form an opinion about how we think about that subject or topic. And I think when most people don't do that, actually that's when it leads to stereotypes and judgments, because we ultimately rely on another person's opinion about something rather than taking the time to process information and form our own opinion of it. And so whether you like it or not, when you're surrounded by others, it will never truly be your opinion because you're always influenced, whether you think it's happening or not, by the others around you. And so spending that time alone and actually processing all the information you're taking in, and taking in the right information is also super important. But once you've taken in that information, that time you spend alone to process that and form your own opinion is one of the biggest benefits I've found from spending time alone. And I think has been really formative in helping me form opinions on how I see life, how I see relationships, how I see work, all of those types of things. The second benefit is about increasing your self-awareness, and this is ultimately around listening to yourself. Now, this sometimes can be a scary thought for people, and I'm definitely sometimes in the same boat as you guys on this one. I struggle sometimes to listen to myself, and the reason I think I struggle is because I don't necessarily always like what's going on up here, but nevertheless, the time and process of understanding and listening to your brain and mind is where the value comes, and that's ultimately how you build self-awareness. And so one of the best things I've done in my time alone is to start journaling. It's to get those things out of my head, listen to my brain, but then actually get them on paper so my brain isn't just clogged up and stored with all of these thoughts and memories and all that type of stuff. To get them down on paper so I can look at them another day and maybe rationalize them, or actually just look back at them and kind of see my journey. The thing I would say about listening to your brain and listening to your mind is to not judge it. I think I fell into this trap a lot, particularly over lockdown, where if I was thinking something particularly negative, that I would judge myself for it, or if I was thinking something just that wasn't necessarily positive and happy, I was judging myself for it. And actually, that's kind of not really where the value is to be found throughout this whole kind of journaling self-awareness process. It's just to understand that that's how that situation made me feel, or that's how I felt on that day or during that experience, and just jotting it down and getting it out of your brain and listening to that and accepting that yourself rather than judging yourself for it. And that's probably one of the biggest learnings I've taken away from journaling, is to not judge what you write down, just write it down and accept that kind of that's who you are and that's how you felt in that situation or during that experience. I think that's been a big help. The third benefit I've found from spending time alone is that it has allowed me to work so much harder. I liken it to a work scenario setup, right? Where you're in the office and it's an open plan office that I'm sure many of you guys like me work in. And there's lots of people walking around, and you spend so much time with these social interactions. Not that they're always bad, because sometimes they are genuinely valuable because you need stuff from someone or they need stuff from you, which is perfectly fine. But you spend so much time in those social interactions and energy in those social interactions that you actually don't get much work done. Now, I attribute a lot of my very small I-class success on YouTube in terms of constantly creating content on the fact that all of my YouTube work, be it scripting, be it editing, be it shooting videos, is all done when I'm alone. And so I found that time alone is actually when I'm most productive and get most of my hard and best work done. And the other thing about that time alone and that ability to work harder is that you can really focus on doing the things that you enjoy, doing the things that bring you joy. And for me, obviously, it's this YouTube stuff and the video stuff, but that time alone that you spend allows you to work harder on those things that you want to work hard on. And I think that is the kind of ultimate cheat code from spending time alone, is that when you work harder on the things that you want to work on, you will see unrivaled success and you will be so much happier for it. If you find yourself spending more time alone, see it as a positive, not a negative. I found that this alone time, this me time, has helped me better understand my brain, my mind, my body, and generally myself. And has also given me the opportunity to focus on work on those things that I really enjoy, like making videos. And so if you enjoy this type of content, I made another video about how you can live life in the slow lane, where I share some practical tips about how you can move yourself away from the fast-paced, rat-raced world that we live in into the slow lane, and how you can still succeed. So do check that one out if you enjoy this type of content. But this video was part of a 24-hour challenge that I'm doing with my friend Matt. And so I will be sharing a behind-the-scenes video of how I created this idea, all the way from idea through filming, through editing, all in 24 hours. So do check that one out as well. That'll be out in a couple of days, where you can check out how I create videos if that's of interest to you. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.